Welcome to the Planet B podcast, where truth, transformation, and faith converge. Join us as we flip the script on ecological despair, guided by Dr. Sailesh Rao's vision for a compassionate, rewilded vegan world. Let's begin the journey to the greatest transformation in human history.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 3 of the Planet B podcast, and the title is The 4 Aspects of Sustainability. Joining us from Planet B is Dr. Rao. How are you doing today, Dr. Rao?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having this.
We're really excited to talk about episode 3, chapter 3. It's such a fascinating topic, sustainability, and I love your 4 aspects of sustainability, which put the framework to a vision for Planet B. So your introduction to the chapter, you have a beautiful quote by Aaron Wood, and it says, "Sustainability is treating ourselves and our environment as if we are to live on this earth forever." So why did you decide that quote would be the setting point of this chapter?
Because it can be interpreted in multiple ways. It can be interpreted as, imagine that you're not going to die at the age of 100. You're going to die at the age of 10,000. How would you live on this planet if that were the case, right? Because then you can say, oh my God, by the time I'm 200 years old, the ocean will be covered with plastic. Do I want to do that? You can stop now. So when we start living as if we are to live on this planet forever, then we begin to look at the 700 years from now, 40 years from now, what will happen? 100 years from now, what will happen? And we think that we're going to have a finite time. So I'm going to be gone in 10 years, so what do I care? Right? That attitude that comes in. And that's why I like that Aaron Wood quote, because it can be interpreted in multiple ways. Or you could say he's imagining human beings, Homo sapiens. Human beings will be around forever. How would you live? Because it's not just about you when you're gone out of your body. Your children are going to inherit this planet. And what will they find? Will they find a better planet than what you started out with? Every one of us who are parents want to leave a better world for our children than what we found. That's foundational, to the way I think of my responsibility as a parent and a grandparent.
Systematically, do you feel that our planet is functioning in that direction?
It's how do you make it progress in that direction as opposed to getting worse and worse and worse? And I say that for the last 15 years, the evidence that I've been watching is that it's getting worse and worse and worse. Okay. Now, I know it is systemic. So it's not anyone's fault. We are all playing roles in a system. And we think the system is immutable. And we go along. And I'm just coming along saying, excuse me, the system is not immutable. It's actually, we inherited it. We didn't even design this thing. It organically grew to be the way it is. And why would I keep doing what was started in 1500s or 1200 or whatever, 700 years ago, 900 years, whenever some of these things were started? Why would I continue doing that? Why don't I put everything on the table, look at it and understand how do we transform this into a system that works for everybody? So I say there are 4 aspects of sustainability. Sustainability is about playing an infinite game as opposed to playing finite games. A finite game, the object of a finite game is to win the game. So you're figuring out who's a winner, who's a loser. And if you look at all of our games that we play today on Planet A, they're all finite games. Who won the Super Bowl this year? Who won? It's all about one winner, and all the rest are crying.
Competition.
Yeah, competition. All the rest are crying. We're constantly trying to figure out who's better than who. and therefore that's how you improve yourself. And I said, actually, I don't need competition to improve myself. I improve myself because I have a drive to improve myself from within.
Mm.
And so you can then, build systems based on collaboration, not on competition. So the object of an infinite game is to continue the game forever. And James Cars, who wrote the book on finite and infinite games, he said that there is only one infinite game, whereas there are an infinity of finite games.
That's so true.
There's only one infinite game. So we all need to transition from playing finite games, lots of finite games, to playing the one infinite game, which is how do you live in a way that as if you are to live on this planet forever. So it comes back to the previous quote that I was saying. How do you figure out how to be a human being?
Mm.
It's the same thing.
Right.
Assuming that you live forever through your children, through your grandchildren, you're going to live forever. Then figure out how would you live on this planet. And so the 4 aspects are, ecologically, you have to live in harmony with nature.
Mm.
Economically, we need to make sure that we are meeting our basic needs so that we can thrive, right? And then ethically, we need to make sure that there is justice around us, not just for human beings, but for all beings, that everyone feels free to dance their dance, to do their thing.
Contribute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And finally, I'd say it's all through education. So educationally, we need to teach people how to be sustainable, how to live like this. That's a major aspect of this sustainability transformation. The education system has to be flexible. Because what you think can work forever today will change over time.
So true. Yeah.
And so you need to be able to, transform your education system as and when you figure out something better.
So if you were to go through the 4 major areas of sustainability one by one and show a beautiful vision of what these would look like on planet B. So let's start with ecological sustainability.
Yeah.
How would you envision that being enacted on planet B?
So I imagine that to be, lots of rewilding projects where we are rewilding the planet. It breaks my heart to see satellite pictures of the world today and how brown it is getting from the blue-green planet it used to be. So we're seeing the desert getting bigger and bigger. The trees are dying, and we are cutting them too. That's why they're dying. Especially India breaks my heart, because 200 years ago, India was 80% covered by native forests. And now it's almost entirely brown, And I say we really don't need that much space as human beings. So I've seen people in India restore forests. And that's why I keep going back to Sadhana Forest, where the forest is coming back and I can see the animals coming back. And that to me is a sign of hope, right? It's that even now nature is ready to heal if we let her heal.
It can happen quickly too.
Right. It happened in 20 years. Sadhana Forest happened in 20 years. So ecologically, it's about rewilding, on planet B, with lots of rewilding projects all around the world. Economically, we are figuring out how to meet our basic needs while we are rewilding. So think of the rewilding as the bucket brigade that's going around putting out the fire on the planet. And there are people who are filling the buckets for you. Okay? That's the economic system. Their role is to make sure that this ecological project is continuing. So we are meeting the basic needs of humanity with this economic project, economically. And ethically, everyone feels like they belong. Everyone feels like they are part of the bucket brigade. And all the animals feel like we are treating them fairly. Okay? Because if you keep killing animals based on what is known as lethal conservation, There are too many deer here, and therefore we are going to have to kill, 500 deer. Well, what happened to the predators who used to do that work for us?
Right.
Bring them back. So ecologically, we need to do this right. And so ethically, everyone needs to feel like they are being treated fairly. So if you go kill a deer because of numbers, you may have killed a mother. What happens to the babies? So it's highly unjust what we are doing. Because we have the strength, we have the guns, we can do what we want. So that justice is not just justice within human society. Ethically, we need to be considering all species and a justice framework within all species. And so it's a multi-species justice framework is what I imagine ethically on planet B. And educationally, it's a self-learning system that we create. You want to understand something, you should have free access to information so for you to understand that. And then simultaneously, that information gets updated by experts as they learn more. It's, right now we have everybody putting stuff up on the internet and a lot of it is nonsense and people get misled and the motivations are different. It's all about how can I get more and more people to be my followers. So that's the reason why you put things up there, and it's not for altruistic reasons. So I imagine a future on planet B where everybody, on planet B, everybody will be putting stuff up for altruistic reasons. That's their contribution. That's the gift they want to give. And they're not trying to con anybody because there is no need to con anybody.
No, it goes from competition to cooperation.
Correct, yeah. I mean, I imagine like my engineering projects that I used to work on, my team members all collaborated with each other in order to create that thing, in order to make it work. If my team members were all competing with each other, I would never have finished it.
Yeah. Which makes no sense in the first place. It's just so silly.
Yeah. So teamwork is essential, right, for us to complete a project. I mean, to actually fulfill a project. So I see, where is the teamwork for the Sustainable Development Goals? Where is the engineering team for it? Okay. Who is running the engineering team? I don't know of anyone doing this. So I say, if you are truly honest and you are truly serious about meeting the Sustainable Development Goals, please, for heaven's sake, we know how to do these things. So let's do it right. And so that's 4 aspects of sustainability and how we need to also have the humility to say, okay, I was wrong about that and I'm going to update you. This is what I've learned now. I'm going to update you. You have to have that humility.
And within this system, what's so beautiful about it is there are so many just brilliant human minds that really contributing in this system, like the change could just happen so quick. It's incredible if it was just channeled in the right systematic direction.
Absolutely. Even when I was working on the internet, okay, I didn't know everything about how to create. I knew the systems aspect of it. And so I had to go depend on an analog to digital converter expert. And so I had to depend upon, digital expert, a verification expert. So all these experts came along and helped create this chip that worked. Okay. Eventually we could put it on every motherboard and, now everybody has access to the internet because of that. So all of that, came from teamwork, with everyone bringing their gifts along and saying, I can contribute this, and then creating the tapestry for the whole. So what I'm doing with the Planet B framework is saying, here is a systems engineering framework. I do not claim to be an economic expert. I do not claim to be an ecological expert. I do not claim to be an ethical expert. I don't claim to be expert in anything. I only know the framework. I can create the framework for it. Beyond that, we need experts to come along and fill in all these details so that we create a Planet B that everyone wants to come to.
Right. And we're welcoming those experts to join under this Planet B.Now umbrella. We hope that people will want to come in because we will welcome them with open arms, and we can do so much more, so much faster when we collaborate together.
Absolutely. And I also think that all of the expertise we need is already available within the vegan movement itself.
Mm.
So you don't have to go convince people, you are an expert, please, come along. And the person says, "No, I don't buy that veganism." Right? You don't have to go there anymore. You can get our team, vegans, to already do all this and create a beautiful world that everyone wants to join.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
So yeah, that's why I'm first targeting all the vegan organizations and asking them to come along under the Planet B umbrella. I don't claim to know everything. I know how to create systems that work. That I know. How to create systems that meet their objectives. I know how to do that.
One of the things that people, and you talk about this misconception in chapter 3, is that we have too many people on the planet, that to achieve true sustainability, that there would have to be a human population reduction. What are your thoughts on that point?
I don't see the scientific evidence for that. When they make those projections, they're assuming that everybody needs a 2-car garage and 2 cars. Every family needs to have 2 cars. Is that really what every family needs? They need transportation. They need transportation, ease of transportation. I love to go live in a city where I can go anywhere, from anywhere to anywhere, without thinking about it, because I just get on the metro, right? And so we now know how to create transportation networks that meet people's needs. And why would I transport myself from one place to another? Because I want to accomplish an objective. And what is that objective? It all has to come back to the original objective of restoring the planet. Now, when you look at it from that perspective, do we have enough resources on the planet to accommodate the needs of 8 billion firefighters? 8 billion bucket brigade? Yes, we do. In fact, we are extracting more food from the planet, okay, already, than what we need to feed 8 billion people. And yet, 800 million people are going hungry because of the food system. The system is not optimized to make sure that everybody is fed a nutritious meal. The system is optimized to make sure that the richest person has access to the most exotic food at any given time. That's what it's optimized for. And I say, I can optimize it for different things, So there are plenty of ways to optimize and design systems. So when we look at it from that perspective, it is absolutely untrue that a planet cannot support 8 billion human beings. She can, and she already has been doing it. And we have been wasting her resources. And this is why people are going hungry, and this is why people are dying of sickness, because we are wasting our resources. So it's not true that we need to have a population reduction before the planet becomes sustainable. No. The planet will be happy today if we all start contributing to her. You see, as long as we are giving more than we are taking, each one of us becomes an asset to the planet. Okay? And so that I know the conditions are there for us to do that right now. Now, over time, if we keep having, if we keep trying to grow the human presence, which is what we've been doing so far, everything has to grow, right? The economic growth model. If you keep trying to grow the human presence and suddenly you have 100 billion human beings, of course the planet cannot support that. No one is claiming that. But I'm saying that right now the planet can support all of us. And when we all feel secure about ourselves, when we live in a system that gives us the basic sense of security, then we automatically have less and less children, because we see all children as ours. When I see all children as my grandchildren, I can play with all of them. I don't have to have my own grandchild to play with. Right?
So from the individual level, what is the foundation of true sustainability on planet B?
From an individual perspective, it is making sure that you are giving more than you are taking. That is sustainable forever. So how do you do that? Minimize your wants. Okay? Put a ceiling on your desires. and contribute more. And you'll discover that you're happier and happier and happier when you do that. One of the greatest gifts I got after transitioning into this profession that I'm in, climate healers, is that my needs, the so-called needs, went down, more and more and more. And I was able to contribute to making other things, making documentaries and things like that. Ideally, that's what you need to do. On an individual basis, give more than you take. So bring back the forest, grow fruit trees, plant gardens, and this way you contribute, and then stop consuming so much. That's the next step of it, right? So I became a minimalist in terms of consumption. So that means I'm taking as little as I want, as little as I need, and I'm giving more than I'm taking.
Talk a little bit about the daily actions that go into a Planet B lifestyle. I mean, of course, the foundation would be built upon a vegan diet.
Yeah, so there is a whole chapter on that, the 8 healing habits that we need to do. And so we'll get into all of that in more detail. But basically, you start creating a routine that works for you. Different people have different routines. I'm sure we'll have different routines. But each routine, and I do this routine every day because it makes me feel good. I feel healthier and healthier every day. So you have to create these routines so that you are on an upward spiral of personal health, and simultaneously you will create an upward spiral of ecological health when you do that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So this one's a little bit shorter, but we've covered all topics. Is there a final message you'd like to share just on a vision of people transitioning into Planet B, the Planet B lifestyle?
Correct. To me, the whole idea of sustainability is that sustainability has to be built into every aspect of your life. You cannot have a center for sustainability, or most of the things we do are unsustainable, but here is a place where we can study sustainability. No, it has to be built into every aspect of your life. That's what I want to leave with for people to understand. Think about being conscious, being aware of the impact of every action you're taking.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Rao. This is episode 3, and we've got episode 4 coming up, which will be the 4 portals of entering into veganism. So thank you all so much for joining us, and Planet B signing out. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
This has been a podcast from Planet B, where compassion didn't get stuck in beta testing. If you haven't moved here yet, we thank you for visiting.